Welcome to Spiritual Soul Podcast, where you elevate your consciousness and connect back to soul. I am your host, Natalia, Kuna, intuitive energy healer and founder of Spiritual Course Academy. Join me on the path of spiritual growth and transformation that helps you feel more calm, connected, and aligned on your journey as an empath, energy sensitive, and spiritual soul. In this episode, I talk about what spirituality is and what it means to be spiritual in an open way from my own perspective. Firstly, may I preface by saying that, of course, it is important to acknowledge that spirituality means different things to different people, and that is exactly as it should be. We can have a very specific or broad understanding and each our own personal take. For spirituality is a very deeply personal and individual experience and journey. It is very subjective according to our own human or even soul's experience. And it can be expressed in so many ways, depending on your own beliefs, culture, experiences, and so much more. It can evolve and change throughout one's life and reflect one's unique experiences, perspectives, and personal growth. So, what does it really mean to be spiritual? Let's start with my understanding of what spirituality is or could be. And again, it's a very open, holistic interpretation from my own thoughts, feelings, experiences, and not one based on religion. And a small side note on that, I do believe that spirituality exists in and outside of religion, for our connection to Source is beyond it. For me, spirituality is multifaceted. It is about connecting with something higher and knowing there is an energy all around us and a reason for our being. And spirituality for me is about carrying that energy through me and throughout my everyday life. There's no perfect here. Like everyone else, it can fluctuate up and down and in and out. And this connection and way of being can come and go or become diminished for periods of time. But overall, for me, spirituality is so natural and simple and just a part of myself. It is me to the very core of myself when you peel away everything. And the more I progress along this journey, this is more evident and interwoven into the fabric of every single aspect of my life on a daily level. There's always a spiritual aspect, one way or another, to the way that I think, be, feel, and do, and I'm very aware and conscious of it. That's where consciousness does come into play. Spirituality or being spiritual to me is a profound feeling or sense that there is something so much more real, true, and powerful, a force and an origin, a higher power, if you will, even another reality, as well as a feeling of profound personal truth and connection to that very source. It's a knowing that there is a higher reality present beyond ordinary reality and beyond typical human limited five sense perception. When you are really attuned to your own sense of spirituality, you have a kind of intuitive awareness. You can feel it in your heart and soul that something higher exists and is the reason for your very being, and that this force guides your way. Sometimes you may catch snippets of it in the breeze. At other times, you feel like you've lost touch with it or question its very presence and power. And at other times, it is a strong, palpable, and evident in the very air you breathe. It is an energy that you cannot deny. And spirituality, in a way, is a force of its own. There's a quote that says, "There is a force within us greater than money, greater than education, greater than circumstance, and that is the force of our spirituality," by Greg Anderson. And that's what carries us through. In that way, spirituality gives us a kind of superhuman kind of strength that gets us through life because of our deeply resounding faith or higher understanding. So, spirituality for me is recognizing spirit, knowing there is a spirit with a capital S, meaning the universal or transcendent force, that higher power or divine essence that creates, animates, and connects all living things, otherwise referred to as consciousness or life force or universal energy, so many different names. But it all really comes down to that there is something so mysterious and enigmatic about the arcane workings of the universe. And moreover, what we are coming to know is rather a multiverse, far more expanse than we could ever imagine. So many realities beyond ours. Spirit is the real, true, pure source of creative energy. It has a power, and you can feel this energy and align yourself with this energy into the core of your being. You recognize it because it's in your DNA, embedded in the fibers of your very being. You are in it, of it, and you are that. And that is the secret source. Here are some key points that I believe are some core qualities about what spirituality is all about, but it's by no means an exhaustive list. Spirituality is about connecting with a higher source. True spirituality is simple, natural, and pure. At its finest, it is a state of transcendence, at one with the sublime. Spirituality holds a power and acknowledges that there is a powerful force running through the very premise of life. Spirituality is about a higher understanding. It values loving service, compassion without judgment, empathy, kindness, as well as peace, patience, acceptance, serenity, and calm, balance, tolerance, and the freeing of the constraints of limitation and divide. It is vehemently experienced in nature. It can be felt in the stillness of a lake, right through to the raging winds of the wild. And spirituality is an acknowledgement of an interconnectedness of all, the all that is. And that is where you get the term unity consciousness. Though spirituality can be collectively shared and experienced, which is a very important aspect also, it is also so profoundly personal and individual to each person, for we are each our own soul. Spirituality is about not just connecting with a higher force, but also connecting with our inner selves. Spirituality bridges these two worlds by bringing the upper to the lower, the inner to the outer, and vice versa. As the saying goes, as above, so below. So as within, so without. It is internal and external all at once. I'm going to now break down spirituality into some main categories. Each, has its own aspects. The first is personal belief. So, spirituality is all about your own personal beliefs. For some, that is a belief system. It can encompass a wide range of perspectives and traditions, including but not limited to religious, philosophical, or metaphysical. It may involve living in alignment with one's values and principles, which guide your actions and decisions. But it does not need to be disciplined and regimented. It can be quite open, expansive, and all encompassing. And you can allow it to be whatever it is for you. So it's about trusting in what resonates, and your beliefs can change during the course of your life as you learn, grow, and evolve. Spirituality is also about your connection with spirit and self. At the very heart and core of it is the idea that we are all so incredibly connected to something far greater than ourselves, that higher power. And it's all about connecting with that energy in whatever way, shape, or form is true for you. But it is also about bringing in that higher awareness and connecting with self, cultivating a very personal connection with that higher power and the greater universe. And in that spirit and self exploration, there's a kind of opening up of one's consciousness, each at their own pace. It is a journey of self discovery, self awareness, and personal growth. It's all intertwined, a vast connection that can bring us such a greater sense of peace and joy and fulfillment in our lives. And in this way, it just nourishes your sense of well being in a much more holistic way. There's no perfect here, of course, and each to their own. But these are the sort of pure tenets of what spirituality can provide, because it really involves a willingness to go there and to explore and understand, your own inner self and your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, and to engage in that self reflection and introspection, which is powerful because it brings about a greater self awareness. And that is born through your so many different areas of what spirituality can provide. Because in return for this, it really opens up your own awareness of not just yourself, but also of others and the outside world and everything beyond that. The other category is that spirituality is all about seeking meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. So it's about discovering and connecting with that deeper sense of that and what it means in your own life. There's a feeling that there is truly a reason for your existence. You are not here by mistake. There's a sense of seeking deep fulfillment on a soul level. It's just something that you feel within you. Sometimes you lose that feeling and it returns back again, but it's in the core of every being. And that whole sense of soul purpose does not need to be clearly evident as well. You don't have to know exactly what that is. It's just a feeling within you that, you're here for a reason and there's so much more. It can be also about love, unity, community, humanitarianism, and just being of service, all pure attributes that connect rather than divide and surpass the ego's drive for things like materialism, division, and artificial success. There's also a sense of knowing there is a higher reality. So, this is about the non physical world. At its core, spirituality is about seeking a deeper understanding of. This can include seeking truth, wisdom, and enlightenment, contemplating deep metaphysical questions, exploring the deeper aspects of our existence and the nature of reality. It can be a deeply personal and individual journey involving all these things and discovering truths and insights about the nature of our existence and the human experience. Sometimes you can go down a really deep rabbit hole with all of this. Sometimes you receive an instant insight, and at other times it's a long journey. So, really, it's about a deeper questioning and not taking life on its outer appearances, but realizing there's so much more than meets the mortal human eye. It encourages you to look beyond the physical world, tap into the depths of one's consciousness, and explore altered or higher states of awareness. And this is an awareness or connection that truly brings you closer to God or whatever you refer to as the creator, source energy, that higher power. It is about the non physical, the quality or state of being concerned with the human spirit or soul rather than material or physical things, which is why it often seeks that meaning and purpose and fulfillment beyond the material world, and why so many people feel unfulfilled with those things. It is also about experiencing the world from a mystic's point of view, connecting with our inner self and the world around us, and seeking a kind of sense of magic, mystery, and interconnectedness that transcends the material and more mundane aspects of life. There's this higher understanding of the power also of our imagination and magically run through our very veins and guide that light that's within us. We sense it. It is a knowing that you are more of a mystic than a muggle, a seer or knower of the beyond, of something that exists beyond the confines of the outside or 3D world. Now we come to the subject of having that appreciation and awe with nature. Being spiritual can involve a sense of that connection to nature and the natural world. It may involve a kind of sense of wonder and awe at the universe, enjoying the beauty of a flower or view, and a desire to live in harmony with others, animals, and the planet as a whole. Spending time in nature is so rewarding, it's so nourishing, and you can find it to be so spiritually satisfying, even if it's just for a moment. As a spiritual soul, you really feel a spiritual sense of connection when you go out for the most simple walk, even if it's just a moment in a garden, watering a plant, or if you go full force out into nature, hiking or swimming in the ocean, as well as anything like sitting in a park and listening to the harmonic chirping of the insects and the birds. That's when you know that you are connected to something so much more. And it's like the angels are saying now there's like a energy signature or imprint within nature, and there are many imprints within each thing within the nature as a naturescape. So that can be anything from a little ant to a blade of grass to the leaves of a tree. There is so much out there, visible and hidden in this mysterious natural world and beyond. There's a spiritual energy running through it and of it, and you can feel that. When you're an empath or a sensitive person, when you have that spiritual eye, you can feel and see and sense that. And it's not to say that we are like this all the time. We all have our moments and it comes in and out. But the more that you focus on your spirituality and your spiritual connection, the more that it is evident and that you sense it. And the more that you sense it, the more it expands. Being in nature can help you feel connected to something that is far greater than yourself. And it reminds you of not just the beauty, but also the mystery of the universe and God's workings behind it and in it and through us. Next is spiritual practices. Spirituality can incorporate a vast range of practices, but it can also exist without that. It can involve discipline, but not be limited or pinned down to it. I'm personally not a lover of discipline, but I do see the value in having some kind of discipline in keeping at something so that you stay within it rather than lose it. So it's a bit of both, or whatever you prefer. Spiritual practices can encompass anything such as meditation, mindfulness, prayer, ritual, and other methods that help individuals connect with their inner selves, as well as the universe or higher power, such as music, chanting, healing, grounding, energy work, or chakra clearing, reading spiritual text, contemplation, reflection, journaling, channeling. I mean, there's just so much. You can also use spiritual tools to seek connection, guidance, or reassurance, or feel a sense of transcendence beyond our ordinary human experience. You know, you might just sit in sacred space and pull out some oracle cards or have crystals around you or use singing bowls. There are really so many different things. Burn some incense, use candles. And really, it is very personal and sacred, and whatever it is that you are drawn to, that you resonate with. These practices and so many more can nourish the soul and deepen your connection with the divine and with yourself, as they form a kind of bridge or portal that connects those two worlds, bringing in a greater sense of awareness of one's own thoughts, emotions, and energy system, and deeper sense of inner peace, presence, and stillness, and sometimes even messages or downloads from the divine. Another category is creative expression, because spirituality can manifest so quickly, easy, and naturally through creative expression, whether that's through painting, writing, music, or any form of creativity. It can help us tap into our inner selves and connect us with higher states of consciousness That's why you see so many artists just creating these beautiful pieces of work. You can also see it through books that you read, wonderful movies that you watch, and so on. So there are so many different kinds of creativity, and we can very instantly and powerfully access our intuition, channel through information, and express our emotions and cultivate a deeper sense of spiritual connection through that. Let's look at the deeper meaning of all of this. When you peel back all the layers, well, at its core and very essence, the higher meaning is the recognition and exploration of our interconnectedness with the divine, the universe, and all living beings. Realizing instinctually that we are all connected in this web of existence, and that invisible thread runs through ourselves and through our energy system, through our senses, and through our lives. Seeing the world through a spiritual lens deepens how we are and how we experience the world. It involves transcending the limitations of that so-called ego or lower density and the material world and connecting with something far greater. It is a journey of self-discovery, self-awareness, and self-transcendence, where we seek to understand not only the nature of existence, but also our role and purpose in life and our relationship with the divine. Open spirituality goes beyond religion or set belief systems and encompasses a more multifarious, holistic, natural approach that integrates mind, body, and spirit, and it relies on the person themselves finding truth within themselves and seeking that outwards. It involves cultivating qualities such as love, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness, and it encourages us to align with our own inner truth and live in alignment with our values and contribute positively to the world around us. It is a way of being and living in the world. It involves mindfulness, presence, and an openness to the present moment. And that is where all truth and magic lies. It is in the now and acknowledging that and the spiritual force of it. It is a path of continuous growth, transformation, and evolution as we strive to expand our consciousness and deepen our connection with that divine higher power. It is a journey of awakening to the inherent divinity within ourselves and recognizing the divinity in all and living in alignment with this awareness. It is a path of love and light and unity in service to others as we strive to contribute and make a positive difference to the world and do our part for the greater good, which we feel is so true and right within us. And the key to that is within our hearts. I hope that this episode has inspired you to take a look at your own spirituality and reflect upon what it means to you. And I also hope that it helps you connect back with that sacred part of you in a higher, deeper, more profound way. Next episode is about connecting back with your spiritual self, and I provide a freebie resource also to help you with this sacred connection. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for listening to Spiritual Soul. It means so much to me. Please do join my email list if you're not on it already so that you can receive spiritual content and stay up to date and connect with me. The link is in the description.